And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Sands Hotel proudly presents the star of our show, direct from the bar.
Welcome to the Ford Show. I'm Ford. Joey Vegas is here. Joey Vegas.
Yes, I'm here. I just flew in.
You just walked right in and we got right to recording.
I'm still out of breath.
You were pumping your arms up. And if you're like fist pump, what was that? As I was playing the Dean Martin intro, you were...
I don't know. I just, nobody can see me, but raise the roof.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
You were raising the roof.
It's been a weird day, weird week. I don't fucking.
Last week, our big story that we opened up the podcast with was the murder of Brian Thompson. And we went back and forth and figured we would probably know by the next time that we record, which is obviously on Thursdays, who did it. We would know that he was caught. And we were pretty confident that would have happened by now. And it sure enough did.
It did.
Monday, Luigi Mangione? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes. If you tell people Italian names, that is like the quintessential Italian name.
Yeah.
Not only the first name, but the last name.
And he was busted in Altoona at a McDonald's.
Yep.
Of all places. I know Drudge Report had it on the front page. He gave it all up for a hash brown. And there he was, pictured eating a hash brown, sitting inside of a McDonald's restaurant. Somebody turned him in. A customer went to the McDonald's employee and said, pretty sure that's the guy that did the shooting in New York. They call the cops. Boom, boom, boom. One thing leads to another. And we have our guy. And they have his manifesto. They have his gun. They have everything. And it came out today, Joey Vegas, that he didn't even have United Healthcare as an insurance provider.
No, he had some spine issue. There's a name for it.
Do we know who his insurance provider was?
No, I don't think so. I haven't seen it. But he had some spine issues or something, back issues. So he was probably upset because they couldn't help him.
But why would he shoot this guy? It's got nothing to do with it. At this point,
he had a problem with corporate America to begin with.
It would have made more sense if he shot the CEO of the insurance company that he actually belongs to.
Yeah.
Brian Thompson, at this point now, he's really an innocent victim at this point because he's not even in charge of the... It would be different if and obviously, big picture, if his insurance, something happened with Luigi and his insurance denied him for something, Brian Thompson, even if he had United Healthcare, probably didn't factor into that decision at all. Big picture, Brian Thompson really is an innocent victim in this particular case.
Yes.
But he didn't even shoot a guy that represented the insurance company that he had. So even if he had a bad experience, even if his insurance company screwed him in some way, he wasn't even confused. Why was Brian Thompson the target now? We don't know that yet, right?
No. Other than from what I heard, he just had a problem with corporate America in general. And the greed, supposedly, whatever. But my thing is, he comes from a really wealthy family.
Yeah, that story came out today as well, that his grandmother left $30 million to the family in her will.
Yep.
But she also specified that if any of the family members were proven guilty of a crime, they would not be entitled to a dime of her money.
I know. Yeah.
That's bizarre that that would be one of her caveats, is that if you committed a crime, you would never see a penny of her funds.
I mean, that is a weird thing to put in there, but I guess because they gave it to the family, they didn't want to be like, somebody murder, suicide, something like that. I don't know.
Charged, indicted, convicted of, or pleads guilty to a felony would be cut out.
Oh, so just a felony. So misdemeanors are okay.
Misdemeanors are okay.
Okay.
But this manslaughter charge is definitely going to be a felony.
Oh, yeah, murder usually is.
The Baltimore millionaire, however, put a special condition in her will to cut off any heirs who had been charged with heinous or violent crimes, which could leave Luigi, 26, high and dry.
Well,
listen, his grandmother's rolling in her grave.
Yeah.
As it stands right now.
Here's my question. And I haven't read all the articles. I don't know. You may know. This guy had money. Supposedly. He came from money. So I would assume he had some sort of money. Enough money to get the fuck out of the country.
Yeah.
He just went to Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
I understand. But the execution to me was almost flawless. And what I mean by that is he was covered up completely. Hoodie, he had the backpack, yes, but he had a mask. Nobody knew who he was. Until things started, then the face mask at the hostel. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You're stupid. Then you go into a New York City taxi cab, which you know damn well has cameras, and you pull down your mask there. I don't understand.
So grandma was the wife of patriarch Nick Mangione Sr., the son of a poor Italian immigrant who built a multi-million-dollar business empire that includes nursing homes, country clubs, resorts, and even a radio station. While Marie's estate is believed to be worth at least $30 million, the will estimates that its total value could be closer to $100 million.
Oh.
But the document does not state exactly how much she left behind. The family wealth notably landed Luigi in the expensive Gilman School, after which he attended the University of Pennsylvania, an Ivy League institution. Luigi, who was arrested on Monday, has pleaded, of course, not guilty to the slew of charges levied against him, including murder and gun possession. His arrest came as a shock to the prominent Baltimore family, with cousin Nino Mangione, a Republican Maryland state legislator, putting out a statement about the ordeal. Our family is shocked and devastated by Luigi's arrest. We offer our prayers to the family of Brian Thompson, and we ask people to pray for all involved. Definitely not screaming, my cousin's innocent. That's for sure.
No, because he looked like an idiot.
Following Mary's funeral, Nino touted Mary as the family matriarch who left behind 10 children, 37 grandchildren, and 23 great-grandchildren.
That's a big family.
They are Italian.
They are. Yeah, that's your own mob right there.
Mangione's family seems to have known something was amiss in the weeks before the shooting, as he became estranged from his relatives and friends. His mom reported him missing to San Francisco police on November 18, though the circumstances of the report, or whether the family made contact after it was filed, remain unclear. So, no shock here. There's all kinds of red flags surrounding this kid leading up to last Wednesday.
But where did he live? He supposedly took a Greyhound bus from Atlanta area. He was found in Pennsylvania. He did the killing in New York, but his mother's in San Francisco. Baltimore is where they own everything at. Like, you had money. You were just in Hawaii the month before with your friends. And he was just in China, I think, a little bit ago.
China.
But I don't know. This dude, he obviously didn't have enough money, because unless he was just stupid or wanted to get caught. I don't know. Some of these wackos just love the thrill of the chase. Like, he knows he's going to get caught.
Mm-hmm.
But every day that he's not, it gives him a little boost, like an ego boost. Haha, you haven't caught me yet. And to be honest,
almost 5 days.
Yeah.
5 days on the run.
And he was only caught because somebody recognized him.
Which, I mean, his face was everywhere.
I know.
Especially on the East Coast.
That's what I'm saying. Get the fuck out of the country, dude.
That's what you had speculated last week. You thought this guy was already gone.
I figured he would have gone, but obviously he either didn't have the money. I understand if you wait.
They found several $1,000s in cash on him, and he said that was planted. It wasn't his money. But it's like, why would they have to plant money?
You're going to plant cash?
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to plant anything, you're going to plant gun or something, not cash.
No.
So yeah, he had $7,000. So get the fuck out of the country now. Right away, like after days and they released the photo and stuff. Okay, now and maybe they found the facial recognition on the photo from the hostel. They just didn't tell everybody. And then so they alerted the Port Authority and TSA and all of that. But
I don't want to spend too much time on this part of the story, but have you seen the stuff probably on Twitter and Instagram, I'm sure, where this kid has developed like a cult following?
he's a folk hero.
His jacket is flying off the shelves. People are buying the jacket that he was wearing. Stores are selling out of this. People want to talk about this era of American society being about cancel culture, this and that, and everything's woke. And you can get yourself in trouble for doing anything. And yet we also have this subculture of American society who worships people who murder people.
Yeah.
And it's not even like a silent minority.
No.
It's a lot. These are people that are like famous people.
Yes.
Are even promoting this kid and doing videos and TikToks about, they're going to get another one, which a chick in Florida already got in trouble for that.
Oh,
threatening
yeah.
Another insurance place.
She didn't even threaten.
She did the 3 words.
She did the 3 words.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
That's
now.
apparently. But
that's it. So it's weird. We are in this culture where everyone talks about how you're going to get canceled for making jokes, and we're doing all that. And then at the same time, we're a culture that has now turned a murderer, because that's what he is. They turned a murderer into a martyr.
I've heard people that I know that have had stories where they mentioned that, they caught him. And people were like, oh, damn it, I wish he would have got away. What he did was great. And I'm like, and it's real. Like the internet's not real, right?
No.
Because people just fake it up. And you can post a TikTok about praising this dude, but if I call someone an idiot, I get a strike on me. So again, that's stupid, but TikTok will be gone by the middle of January anyway.
That's the rumor.
But yeah, I can't believe people are cheering this dude, because at the end of the day, it doesn't change a damn thing. I said last week, a new CEO is going to be put in place, and guess what? We're all still going to get screwed.
Yeah, it's just the business, I guess you can say. And it is what it is. But does it make it right? No. Also, shooting the man in the back a couple of times and killing him in the middle of the street is also not right.
Yeah.
And he should not be turned into a cult hero for murdering somebody. Now, again, I understand you could have your little minority groups. They're like the people that love the serial killers and the cases, but they also recognize that they're serial killers. And to turn this kid into a hero, we can't be half pregnant. Are we going to be a society that cancels everybody for everything, or cancels anybody for anything? Or are we going to be the society who turns murderers into heroes? Which one are we going to be? Because we cannot be both.
But here's the jacked up thing. 2 simultaneous things were going on at the same time in this time frame. He killed somebody. Daniel Penny also killed he didn't kill somebody directly, but he put somebody in a chokehold that was he was threatening women on the subway, that he was going to rape and kill them, and he choked them out. And the same people that are cheering the murder of a healthcare CEO are saying that Daniel Penny should be put to the death for what he did, because the guy that he choked out was a model citizen, only arrested 42 times.
Yeah, I don't get it. Society, we cannot be both. We need to either be cancel culture, or we need to turn murderers into heroes. Which I would honestly, I'd rather be a cancel culture.
Yes.
To be honest, if we had to pick. Yeah. Because we should not be turning murderers into heroes.
Because you know what's going to happen? somebody else is going to try.
Yeah, it turns into copycat
Yeah,
stuff.
not somebody that says on the phone to somebody, because she probably thought, I'm just going to say these 3 words and haha, and now she's arrested. And
she was crying in court, so she's not hard at all.
No, she didn't mean to do it probably in that sense. You say shit, you get in trouble. The same people that lost their jobs because they were like, oh, I wish Trump would have got killed. Okay, can't do that. But.
And this other story, so bizarre. The other big story, I think, from the last couple of days, this Hannah Kobayashi story. If you're unfamiliar, she disappeared in November. She was traveling from, I believe, Hawaii, right?
Yes, to New York.
To New York, but she vanished at LAX and nobody had seen her. And so Hannah was reported missing in Los Angeles on November 11 after missing a connecting flight to New York City. Before her disappearance, the Hawaii native had sent a flurry of bizarre text messages to friends and family talking about a spiritual awakening and being tricked. She also been accompanied by an unknown man hours before her last sighting, and relatives speculated that she had been kidnapped or even sex trafficked. So her father travels to LA rather, from Hawaii to help in the search of finding his daughter. Now, I'm also under the impression that there's another sister involved. She has a sister, so there's 2 girls.
Yes.
Are there any brothers in this situation or no?
I do not know.
Okay, so we're just going to assume that the father has 2 daughters. One is Hannah, who's now missing, and one is the other one who I don't even know her name. So the father travels to L.A. from Hawaii, cannot find her, looks bleak. He feels that he has no other option but to jump off of a parking structure near LAX, taking his own life, killing himself. Because at this point, he thinks his daughter's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Leaving behind a daughter who is alive and not dead. That didn't stop him. He took his own life. And then we found out yesterday that this broad is alive in what seems to be Mexico.
Yeah.
It's been revealed that she voluntarily traveled to Mexico, prompting the FBI to investigate whether she had been wrapped up in a green card marriage scheme with an Argentine national. According to a report, Hannah Kobayashi had plans to travel to the Big Apple with her green card husband and another green card couple to create proof of immigration officials that their marriage was real. She apparently was planning the trip with her ex, Amun Munez Miranda, his own green card wife, Marianne, and the Argentine national that she had secretly married, Alan Case, I don't know, to make their phony marriages seem more legitimate. That's according to the Daily Mail. Instead of going through with the trip, she bought a ticket to Los Angeles bus station on November 12 and headed for the Mexican border. She crossed into Tijuana around noon via the San Ysidro point of entry tunnel.
We went there.
Yeah.
We were there. Just we didn't go for your car.
More than a month after she had vanished, her family announced Wednesday she was found safe. We are incredibly relieved and grateful that Hannah has been found safe, the family of the 30-year-old from Hawaii said in an attorney-issued statement to local media. This past month has been an unimaginable ordeal for our family, and we kindly ask for privacy as we take the time to heal and process everything we have been through. Yeah, because her father took his own life.
How would you feel if you were the other daughter?
Exactly.
My dad doesn't give a shit about me because he jumped to his death because his other daughter, quote, disappeared.
And this bitch is voluntarily going to Mexico?
Yeah.
And not telling anybody?
No, she didn't want to be found. She left. And the dad's, okay, screw it. I'm dead, but I have another daughter. Jesus Christ.
Can you just wrap your head around that? Now, I say all of that to say that the family of Hannah Kobayashi is offering a refund to anyone who helped raise nearly $50,000 to bolster their search for the missing photographer after she was located safely in Mexico. But here's the catch. So if you've donated money, here's the catch. Requests for a refund must be made in the next few days. We are turning donations off, and any donor who would like a refund can submit a claim by December 18, and it will be honored, her sister said. Her sister's name is Sydney. The fundraiser garnered just over $47,000 in donations to help locate the missing 30-year-old. A separate GoFundMe was set up to pay for the funeral for her father, Ryan, who was only 58, who died of an apparent suicide 6 days after she went missing. What a story.
I love how instead of just saying, okay, anybody that donated to this GoFundMe, boom, you get your money back. No, you got to request it by the 18th. And if it's after the 18th, we're keeping your money.
That's what it sounds like.
To me, that's a little
sketch.
Yeah, a little sketch. Because it's like, hey, I'm going to donate for her search to the family. And then, oh, hey, she's all good. She's in Mexico. We found her. She's alive. Everything's great. But you only have 5 days to get a refund. Otherwise, we're keeping the money.
There's a lesson here.
Don't donate the fucking GoFundMes?
No.
Oh.
The lesson here is if you have a loved one that is missing, you should probably wait it out.
Until you find a body or something.
Before you take your own life.
Yeah.
No, I'm obviously if 25 years passes, there's a little bit of a different story.
Wow.
But by that point, if you're still alive, you're not going to take your own life over it.
No.
This guy killed himself because he thought his daughter was gone.
But
think about that. Like really process that in your head for just a moment.
But there has to be something else.
What do you mean there has to be?
No, but
he was so depressed he jumped off a parking structure.
I know, but there has to be another thing that we don't know. Meaning, not that he was murdered or anything like that, but maybe he did something. Maybe he forced her to go or do something that he regrets. Not that she's missing.
No, it sounds like he wasn't even, according to the FBI, the father wasn't involved in those plans of her going and
or
doing
something.
The green card gimmick.
Or maybe he didn't listen to the signs. Or there's got to be something that we're missing.
Signs
because
don't speak.
Yes, they do. I've seen the movie. I think we're missing something because and maybe we're not. Maybe he was just
maybe
mentally
this
fucked
is it.
up. Maybe he was just mentally fucked up.
He was so distraught over his daughter's disappearance that he took his own life before he waited. He was only 6 days after she disappeared.
I know it's not
he thought it was over.
But I wonder when they saw on video of her crossing into Mexico by herself.
This obviously came later because I don't think he would have killed himself.
Yeah, why would you kill yourself 6 days?
Because I think the odds are, if they're not found within a certain amount, probably a week, the likelihood of survival is probably next to nothing. If you probably look at the odds. If we Googled it and really studied it, I bet you those are the odds. That the odds say that if you don't find a missing person within a week, chances are they're dead.
Probably.
Because most of the time you don't go missing for a month and then show up in Mexico.
That's true. And if you do show up in Mexico, you're probably dead in Mexico. This is what, and the craziest thing is,
that's not the craziest part yet.
We don't know what happened to her. Meaning, is she still in Mexico? Did she go back to Hawaii? Did they go down to Mexico to see her? What's going on? They just said, "Oh yeah, we found her. She's safe." But
it's not illegal for you to go to Mexico and not tell anybody.
True, not when you're an adult,
right? That's not illegal.
But
did she do anything illegal? I don't think she did.
No, I'm not saying she's.
No, I'm asking you a question.
Oh no, I don't think she didn't do anything illegal because obviously she crossed the point of entry. I'm sure she had a passport.
Yeah,
I'm sure she did everything legally. So I don't think there's any legal ramifications for her because she didn't call the cops and fake her death or do something. But I would think her family would want to go and be like, "Oh my God, you're alive." But obviously she didn't want to be found.
Do you think there's some kind of, you think there's going to be some disowning
Oh, well,
There's gonna be some heat. The sister
has to have the heat.
has to have some heat with her because without her doing what she did, the father's still alive.
Or at least checking in with the father.
There's a lot of therapy.
Oh, men's therapy, I would think.
Immense therapy from this.
Because like I said, your dad killed himself over your sister, but you're still alive. So it's fuck you. I don't care about you. I
Yeah.
just care about the missing daughter.
And then the sister's still alive.
Yeah.
So now you lost your father because your sister's an idiot.
Because she just left and didn't contact anybody. Why would it? But my thing is,
A lot of therapy.
I hope there's more stuff that comes out because there are pieces missing in.
Yeah, like why?
Why? But also, you flew. I get they were flying to New York to get this whole sham. So that could be the only illegal thing. Is if she didn't really marry this dude.
But she didn't really do it though, right? So I don't think she's actually broke the law yet.
But no, if they applied for a green card and everything because of the marriage, yeah, that would be illegal. But
That's a thing. You could do that. My uncle, actually, my uncle's gay,
yeah,
and he married a man for citizenship.
yeah, that's a thing.
And then I asked him, I said, so you guys aren't really together? No. And I was like, did you get a payday out of it? He said, no. I go, how could you marry somebody and not get a payday out of it if you're marrying him to help them out? And how do you not offer? If I needed to marry you for citizenship,
You're gonna give me money.
no homo, I'm gonna offer it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll give you a $5,000 for the year for you to marry me so that I can get a green card, and we have to fake it for a year, and then we can get divorced. Does that work? Yeah, cool. Here's 5 G's.
Yeah.
But to not get paid out of it, I couldn't understand why my uncle, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I'd have to get paid if I'm going to break the law.
Yeah.
And could face prison time.
There's got to be a payday in this.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I go, did he offer you money? He said no. I go,
did the guy get his green card?
You need some better friends.
Did the guy get his citizenship?
Yeah, I think they've been married for more than a year and a half, I think.
Oh, they're married. Oh,
I think August would have been.
Oh, it's
this
current.
Past August would have been a year.
Oh, so it's current.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not. He didn't do it in the past.
No, this isn't even an old story.
Oh, it's ongoing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like my uncle could probably still get picked up on this deal.
Oh,
we might want to stop talking.
We probably
about
should
it.
stop talking about it.
So we have three other little stories here that we got to get to, and then we'll get to Vegas's picks. I'm going to read you this headline, Joey Vegas, and then you have to tell me what state it happened in.
Okay.
Okay. A man stabbed his ex-girlfriend 70 times ahead of a domestic abuse hearing and then died in a crash fleeing the murder scene. What state did this happen in?
California.
It is a Florida man. He is accused of killing his estranged girlfriend by stabbing her 70 times during a break-in on Friday, exactly 1 month after he was nabbed for assaulting the victim in order to stay away. Shocking. James Christopher Lindsay, he has 3 first names, don't ever trust him, 42, allegedly killed 40-year-old Kristen Stevens after breaking into her Choluteha home around 1 a.m. when he learned that she went on a date with another man. The knife-wielding maniac, who was expected to be arraigned on a domestic violence battery charge against Stevens the same day of the vicious murder, was found dead in a rollover crash on Fort Christmas Road in Orange County, hours after he fled the victim's home. So the pair had a lengthy history of domestic violence, go figure, involving law enforcement, where an 18-year off and on relationship, and shared a 16-year-old son who was home but unarmed during the fatal home invasion. So now we have a 16-year-old who lost his mother and his father all in the same day. This is a heartbreaking and traumatic incident that will have a lasting impact. Oh, guess what? Therapy on families and a community. So he stabbed this woman 70. How mad are you at somebody to stab them 70 times? 70.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's excessive.
Because you can kill him with a 1 stab. You stabbed her 70. And then he got instant karma.
Yes. Police responded to Stephen's home and found the victim dead with up to 70 stab wounds from an apparent kitchen knife. It's a kitchen knife, so it's almost like you're just being needled.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was like a meat cleaver.
No.
He's like poking her 70 times. A second victim was an unidentified man. Said the accused abuser pounced on the victim and stabbed her dozens of times after using a hammer to break into the home. The man was stabbed in the leg while he attempted to kick Lindsay off the woman before escaping to a neighbor's home where he called police. So did he kind of like leave this broad to die?
Yeah. Kind of like he kicked him, then he left.
And just let him just continue stabbing away. The madman fled the house and was found dead about 4 hours later at the scene of a single car wreck, thankfully. He had been driving 100 miles an hour and lost control. So there you go.
That's instant karma right there.
That is. And you know what? You feel bad for 3 people in that scenario. You feel bad for the woman who obviously was stabbed 70 times with a kitchen knife. Yep. You feel for the 16-year-old son. Mm-hmm. And you feel for the unidentified man.
I feel a little less for the unidentified man, knowing that
bitched out?
that he bitched out and left. But again, he could have just, I don't know. I wasn't there, thankfully, but
don't play armchair quarterback.
But who knows when he walked in during the stabbing? I mean, she could have already been dead.
Oh yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
And this last one here is the cover art for our show this week. Again, guess the state.
Okay.
A blank gamer, Gamer, for those of you who don't know, it's like somebody who plays video games.
Yeah.
Was arrested Sunday after shooting both of his parents, killing his father after the dad reportedly asked him to get a job. What state was this in?
I'm going to say Tennessee.
Florida.
Oh.
I did 2 Floridas this week.
You did.
A Florida gamer was arrested after shooting both of his parents. Joseph Voigt, 23, was taken into custody Sunday morning after fleeing his family home where he allegedly gunned down his father and wounded his mother after his old man was riding his ass about getting a job. Now, that's his quote, the kid's quote, riding his ass. Susan Voigt, 58, called police on Saturday night reporting that her son had shot her multiple times, including one shot in the head, and killed her husband, Marvin, in Polk County, Florida. Marvin, 63, was found lying dead in the driveway by arriving Bartow police officers. Susan was found sitting on the couch, bleeding out from several gunshot wounds, including a single wound to the head. Can you imagine that? Mm-hmm. Their son fled the tragic scene in the family's car, but was quickly scooped up by authorities on International Drive in Orlando. The youngest Voigt told police that his father was riding his ass about getting a job and making something of his life, reprimanding his son for wasting his time playing video games. Dad obviously has never seen Twitch before.
Obviously.
The accused killer, who appears pallid and bears an emotionless mane in his booking photo, as you saw on our cover art, is no stranger to the police, including an encounter that stemmed from indiscriminate shooting of a gun when he was just shooting it into the ground 15 times. When asked by police why, he said he was bored. Huh. Boyd also had a run-in with cops just a week before the alleged murder of his parents. He maced 2 people. He maced them when they simply asked him why he was in their neighborhood. Despite the recent aggressions, cops said the disturbing shooting caught them by surprise. There were no signs that would lead you to believe that this would occur from this gentleman, I would say. At least I don't see any from any past behavior, Police Chief Steve Walker said. So,
one would argue that shooting the gun in the ground 15 times and going into another neighborhood and macing people probably would be weird behavior.
The mother is listed in critical but stable condition. The father is dead. And Joseph Voigt faces charges of first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder. All because he was riding his ass to get a job. Wow. Maybe, and then you got to ask the question, maybe this kid's never heard of Twitch. Because he could have went to Twitch and he could have started gaming and he could have turned it into some money. He could have been like, look, Dad, I have subscribers and followers and I'm making some money.
Well, obviously his parents were probably paying for a lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
Because if he was getting paid to game, his dad probably wouldn't have bitched.
And again, 2 shining examples, as we love to bring you on this show every week. 2 more shining examples about how you're more likely to die by somebody than by a complete stranger. Both of those stories. And lastly, before we turn it over to Joey Vegas, we love to talk about, remember when we used to do a lot more crime stuff?
Mm-hmm.
And every week we would end the show with some type of unsolved cold case that became solved, and whoever did the crime is going to do the time, and whatever the case may be. And 9.9 times out of 10, it was all about DNA, right?
Yep.
DNA was going to bring you down, even if the murder happened in 1978, and then you were smoking a cigarette and threw the butt on the ground, and the cops been following you, and they picked it up, and they DNA'd it, and you matched it, and you're going to jail. This woman took a DNA test for fun, and police used it to charge her grandmother with murder in a cold case. Nice find here. I got to give Joey Vegas some credit. This is a Joey Vegas find.
Yep.
It was the middle of Jenna Gurotowski's workday at the local flower shop in Newberry, Michigan. She got a call from an unknown number. The now 23-year-old doesn't usually answer unknown calls, but she decided to pick this one up in May of 2022. To her surprise, it was a detective from the Michigan State Police. He was like, have you heard of the baby Garnett case? Jenna heard of it. In 1997, a deceased infant was found in a campground pit toilet at the Garnett Lake campground, right where Jenna grew up. Investigators couldn't find any leads on the identity of the baby or anyone who witnessed the person abandoning the infant, according to a news release from the Michigan Attorney General's office. The case went cold, and the baby Garnett case became a known murder mystery in Jenna's small town for decades. The guy on the other line told her, your DNA was a match. Jenna says the detective on the phone told her she was related to the dead infant from 1997. Jenna was in shock, understandably. The detective sounded sure, Jenna said, but she wondered how could she have obtained her DNA. About 6 months earlier, her friend had gotten a family tree DNA test for Christmas, and Jenna decided to order her own. DNA from baby Garnett relatives led detectives to Jenna's family tree DNA kit. The detective said a woman from Identifinders International, a genetic genealogy investigation firm, would call her about her DNA to help with the identifying closer relatives. According to the court documents, detectives reopened the cold case in 2017 and worked with a forensic company to extract DNA from baby Garnett's partial femur before sending the results to Identifinders International. Jenna explained the situation to her mother when she got home from work. It's just crazy, Jenna said. We were both sitting there. I don't even know who the mother or father could have been. We were both so confused. And we're like, it's got to be somebody that we don't know. You know, it's like a distant cousin or something. Jenna said her mother, Kara, started to wonder whether the detective call was a scam. Jenna's grandfather had just been scammed by someone claiming to be a detective, so Kara told Jenna to be cautious about giving out personal information or passwords. Misty Gillis, then a senior forensic genealogist and cold case liaison from Identifinders International, called Jenna that night, and according to Jenna and court documents filed later in the case. Jenna claims Gillis requested her family tree DNA password to be able to upload her DNA to a separate database. Jenna was concerned it was a scammer and refused to cooperate. I hung up on her, and not even thinking about it twice, and went about our day. I was like, how weird. What a weird thing to scam people about. I wholeheartedly did not think this was real. A week later, Jenna was working at the flower shop when she got a distressed call from her mother. She was like, I really need you to come home. It's an emergency. Just please come home as soon as you can. Jenna rushed home thinking somebody died. Her cousin was sitting with her mom at the round wooden kitchen table. Police had contacted her cousin, who works as a victim's advocate in the county prosecutor's office. My mom had tears in her eyes, she said. Jenna's cousin had just a pure shock look on her face. You could hear a pin drop in the room. Even though Jenna knew she had nothing to do with the baby Garnett case, she was terrified. Police would think she was trying to hide something because of her refusal to speak with Gillis. So she immediately called her. An analysis of Jenna's DNA kit showed she was the half-niece to baby Garnett. On June 1st, 2022, detectives spoke with her mother, Kara, who agreed to provide her DNA. Kara was the half-sister of baby Garnett, according to court records. I feel like that is when all of the puzzle pieces started to fall together. And she told detectives that if it's going to be anybody, it would be her mother. Kara, now 42, had not spoken with her mother, Nancy, since she was 18 because they had a bad relationship. And Jenna had never even met her grandmother. Regardless, both were shocked. Nancy, who was living in Wyoming when police questioned her, would be the one behind their town mystery. I had grown up knowing about this case my whole life and come to find out it was my grandmother that did it. The Michigan Attorney General's office alleges Nancy delivered the newborn alone at her Newberry home, during which baby Garnett died due to asphyxiation, and that this death could have been prevented by medical intervention, which Nancy did not seek. However, in a court filing, Nancy's defense argues she unexpectedly gave birth while in the bathtub, and the fetus became trapped inside of her birth canal. She attempted to pull the fetus out of her own body. Not real, Vegas. She's lying. The filing says, but couldn't deliver the fetus and lost consciousness at some point in delivery. When she was finally able to deliver the fetus, it was dead. Her defense argues that Nancy, like the average person in the county in 1997, did not have access to a telephone or cell line, so she couldn't call 911. While she concedes in her legal filings, she placed the stillborn fetus in a bag and left the remains at the campground. Her defense attorney argues that she had been in shock after having had no pain medication during the traumatic birth. Nancy is charged with 1 count each of open murder, involuntary manslaughter, and concealing the death of an individual. Open murder carries a potential life sentence. In a hearing on Thursday, Nancy's defense argued that the case against her should be dropped in its entirety because the state cannot prove the baby was born alive. It might be able to loophole on this one, but I'm sure that we probably get an answer on this. There you go.
Yeah. Can they prove the baby was born alive? Probably not.
No, and it's almost like you almost have to believe the grandmother's story.
Because
as fucked up as it sounds, even though we probably know she's lying.
She's probably lying, but it's not about can we prove she's lying. It's can we prove without a shadow of doubt she killed this baby.
Yeah.
And it was in 97. So there were cell phones or car phones at least in 97, but they weren't readily available. And pay phones are a dime a dozen, but I guess she might get, I don't know what the charge would be, but concealing a crime or dumping the baby.
Yeah.
Because
even if the baby was born dead, you still dumped it at a campground.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's still going to be some kind of penalty for that.
So she may get that.
Yeah.
But the murder might be hard to prove.
Yeah. What's not hard to prove is that Joey Vegas is having a very good season in Joey Vegas's picks of the week here in the NFL. Last week was a little down. He went 1-2, but his season record is 24-18. Still pretty staggering. 24-18 winning record. And Joey Vegas, take it away.
Yes. This week, NFL Week 15, I will not be giving a DNA sample anytime soon, just in case there's any unsolved murders of my family. But I will tell you this is going to be a 3-0 week. Why? Because Ford said so. Because I'm picking the guaranteed lock that Ford has said.
Oh, you are?
I'm going to pick the guaranteed lock, Baltimore minus 16.5 against Tommy DeVito and the New York Football Giants. Ford is a big fan of the Giants.
That's a lock, though.
Yeah, and he says that's a lock, so I'm going to go with Ford's lock of the week. I'm also going to go with Ford's mother's favorite team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, plus 5.5 against the Eagles. Because where are the Eagles at, brah? And then I'm going to do a little revenge because Buffalo screwed me against the Rams. They lost. So Buffalo goes into Detroit, Michigan, and Detroit is minus 2.5. And I know Buffalo's good, but I think Detroit is is probably the best team in the NFL. I'm going to say it. It hurts me to say it. They're in the Chicago Bears division, but I think Detroit is the best team in the NFL. Kansas City Chiefs fans and Taylor Swift, come fight me. To recap, my NFL Week 15 picks. Baltimore, minus 16.5 against the Giants. Pittsburgh, plus 5.5 against the Philadelphia Eagles. And Detroit, minus 2.5 against the Buffalo Bills.
All right. That Ravens pick is...
I mean, I'm going to watch it.
The Giants scored 11 points against the Saints. I think they're going to get manhandled by the Ravens.
They should.
Yeah.
They should.
Without a doubt.
They should.
And if they don't, Baltimore is not winning a Super Bowl this year. I can guarantee you that.
If the Giants win, Baltimore might as well just quit.
So the Ford Show came to you this week from the murdermydebt.com studios. Head to murdermydebt.com today and see how they can get you out of the hamster wheel of interest that you are probably stuck in those credit cards like most of us. Also, you can head to buyfordmerch.com, buyfordmerch.com. Pick up a hat, pick up a shirt and the Patreon, patreon.com/Ford podcast, FORD podcast, patreon.com. Help the show for as little as $3 a month. For Joey Vegas, I'm Ford. We'll see you guys next time.
Good night, jabroni marks without a life that don't know if it's a work when you work a work and work yourself into a shoot. Marks.
See ya!